Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we take a look at how access to significantly fewer polling stations impacted this year's primary elections. And while hundreds of thousands of Kentuckians requested an absentee ballot this year, many were still out voting in person yesterday. We hear from them about the changes.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, also known as Hump Day. The temperatures outside were pretty sticky yesterday as that rain kept coming down. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. Like we mentioned yesterday, it was weather that you definitely could wear, and I know people are wondering if that's going to be the case today. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, Lacey. Cold front went by and things look a little bit better today. Actually, a lot bit better when it comes to tracking clouds and rain this morning. There are none of either one, at least for the moment. I don't think we'll see a completely dry day, but drier today for sure. Our main problem is fog. After the rain come through, all that moisture, we're now starting to see that be a factor for us. Close to zero visibility in a lot of locations. Much different. What a difference a different day makes there across the area with temperatures 59 down toward Somerset, Monticello, Williamsburg, Wise, Jonesville this morning, and Irvin. That's our cooler spots, and then not a whole lot of warmth to be had. 63 in Jackson. Looks like it's the warm spot tied there with Logan over in southern West Virginia. There we go. Dew points this morning, they're comfortable too in the 55 to 60 degree range for the most part, so that's not too bad considering where we've been. Out the door forecast today, take the rain gear. I don't think most of you will need it, but a couple of you, especially in the early afternoon hours, will have it coming down there a little bit on the scattered chances as we get to right around 79 later today. Full forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. Secretary of State Michael Adams says about 1 million Kentuckians voted in Kentucky's delayed primary election. Here you can see a video from Louisville's elected President Donald Trump and Joe Biden won the presidential primaries, but many other outcomes may not be known for a week until counties submit all voting totals. And the most watched race is for the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. We still don't know who will take in on Mitch McConnell in the fall. Effectively narrowed to Charles Booker and Amy McGrath. McGrath did not hold an in-person election night rally. She did release a statement, though, and in it she said, "As eager as we all are to get results, I'm grateful for the extra effort and due diligence to make sure every voice is heard and every vote is counted." She also said the mission to defeat Mitch McConnell goes on. Booker, meanwhile, held a thank you rally in Louisville.
We are here for a reason, and this is not about politics. We got work to do, Kentucky. And we gonna win. We gonna win. In fact, we've already won. This is our time now. And Mitch gotta go.
Michael Brower, who is also running for Senate on the Democratic side, spoke with supporters in Lexington last night. He says he hopes whoever wins the race will push for big changes in Washington. And Congressman Hal Rogers won Kentucky's 5th Congressional District Republican primary yesterday. Rogers is seeking his 21st term in office in November. He released a statement last night saying, in part, "It's an honor to have the overwhelming confidence of the people of Southern and Eastern Kentucky. Over the last 4 decades, we have built strong partnerships and generated historic grassroots movements to impact the drug abuse epidemic, rebuild our economy in coal country, expand our infrastructure, create jobs, clean up our region, and pave a brighter path for future generations." Congressman Andy Barr, Thomas Massey, and Brett Guthrie also won their primary races. And while more than 889,000 Kentuckians requested an absentee ballot, thousands of others showed up to a heavily reduced number of precincts across the Bluegrass yesterday, including here in Perry County, where we found a steady flow of people going in and out of Perry Central, exercising their right to vote. Many of those voters told us they did not see the extra commute to a single polling location as a problem, even if the experience was not what they were used to.
Pretty good turnout so far. I didn't really get to talk to anybody because you can't do that like you do at your local precinct, not this time of year. So everybody's voted and exit. So but it was a good experience overall.
It's in the neighborhood.
We reached out to Perry County Clerk Wayne Napier for an interview yesterday. However, he was busy counting absentee ballots and was unable to. And most counties only had one polling or two polling places yesterday, but in Pike County, voters were able to choose from 6 in-person precincts. Belfry, Phelps, East Ridge, Shelby Valley, and Pike Central High School were all open to voters, as was Millard School. Poll worker Richard Tucker says using the schools as precincts in place of the usual spots provided more help for poll workers, making a smoother process for the voters.
So people get to get in to vote easier, and it's not working like 4 people to death. It seems to be a whole lot easier. We was all talking, we like this setup. It's a whole lot better on us.
Kentucky's Secretary of State Michael Adams says Kentucky's election has been a national success story. And polls closed in central and eastern Kentucky at 6 p.m. last night. But when they did in Jefferson County, it was clear several voters still had not gotten their chance to vote. The Expo Center was the county's only polling place, and there were still several cars lined up inside the gate as the window to vote came to a close. The Expo Center doors were locked as herds of people stood outside. Many were not let in until 6:30. U.S. Senate candidate Charles Booker filed an injunction to have polls in the county stay open until 9. An hour after Booker, Amy McGrath tweeted that her campaign was also filing a similar injunction. However, the extension request was denied, but it was decided that the doors could open back up for an extra half hour, and that was enough to let folks already there cast their ballots. And just a reminder, election results are not final. What you are seeing at the bottom of your screen, in some cases, a small percentage of the votes. The final results will not be announced until June 30th. But you can find our full election coverage and the results that we do have on WYMT.com or on the WYMT News app. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, hear more about what Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams is saying about yesterday's modified primary elections.
In a fairly drier day, but we'll see some chances for rain a little bit later on. We'll talk about it in about 3 minutes.